taking time out of, my name is Jamie Matthews, and I am the manager for the Information Technology Services Help Desk at the University of Iowa. And I have a little support system that are also logged in with me today. Jacob and Ashley from our help desk staff are logged in. So we have all of the technical expertise with us here today to answer all of your questions. So I want to give you a brief overview before we get started of how we're going to spend our time together today. During this presentation, we are going to talk about several things. We're going to talk about all of the technology services that students need to be aware of and that they will use on campus during their career at Iowa. We want to make sure that they are very aware of all the technology needs that they're going to be using and the technology that they need to be aware of. We are going to answer all of your questions. Throughout this presentation, you will notice that we have a lot of links to websites. So Ashley is going to share in the chat the website where you can download this presentation, because we want to make sure that you have this information so that you can reference it later. And then also starting tomorrow, we will post a recording of this presentation. So you can download this recording and watch it again if you'd like, starting tomorrow. So we're going to be going through a lot of information, and we're hoping to get all of your questions answered. So during our time together here, feel free to drop questions in the Q&A feature. And please use the Q&A feature, because that's what Jacob and Ashley will be responding to, is your questions that you add to the question and answer area of this webinar. You should see that option in the lower toolbar. So I am going to get started with the information. So you will notice that I am going to make a big deal out of all of the services that we offer that are free, because college is expensive and almost all of the services that the help desk offers are free. So I'm going to be saying that over and over again as we go through the presentation. And I'm also going to be making special note of all of the things that you students should do before you come to campus. You need to use this time in the summer to prepare for coming to campus in the fall. So I'm going to make sure that that I point those out as well. So let's get started. So this first screen that we are looking at is a photo of the walk-in area of the ITS Help Desk in University Capital Center. For those of us that live in Iowa City and have been very familiar with the area for a long time, we refer to this as Old Capitol Mall, because back in the day, years ago, it literally used to be a shopping mall. So this is where our help desk is located, and this is, if you wanted to come see us in person, this is where you would come. So hopefully once we all get back to campus and once you make your trip to Iowa City, you will come and see us. So the first thing that you need to know about working with the help desk and getting all of your questions answered about anything technology is how to contact us. So again, we're located on the second floor of Old Capitol Mall, but if you see the URL on the screen, that /contact website, you can go there and find all of our contact information. So you can call us, you can email us. On that site, you'll see a link to our live chat service, so you can chat with us online. And then, of course, you can come and see us. So you'll notice that we have our hours on this slide here, because I wanted to make sure that everyone realizes we are open until 10 o'clock at night during the semester. You'll also notice that we are open on the weekends. So we are available as much as we can be to answer all of your questions. So feel free to contact us at any time. So we're also open during the summertime. So if you have any questions, like after this presentation today, you can chat us, you can call us. We're open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. during the summer. So we are open and we are working now. The only thing that's closed now is just our walk-in location in Old Capitol Mall. The other thing that I want to point out is our support website, its.uiowa.edu. All of the things that we are going to discuss today, we have instructions for online. So you can go to that website and search for, how do I install email on my phone? Or how do I get enrolled in two-step login? So everything that we are going to talk about today, we have instructions for on our website. So that its.uiowa.edu website, you're going to want to make sure that you utilize that. Issues today. You all already have your Hawk ID. You already know your password. I'm sure you're using them already, but it's really, really important to keep this information safe. You don't ever want to share your password with anyone, not even your parents. Your parents don't even need your password. They will have their own ID and password that they can use for the information that they need to access. So it's really important to keep your Hawk ID and your Hawk ID password safe, because you're going to use that to access almost every service on campus. So I can't stress that enough, that don't share your password with anyone. Your password, it will not expire for a year. That's why it's really important to keep it safe. If you ever forget your password, you can go use our Hawk ID tools, and we've got the URL right there in front of you, hawkid.uiowa.edu. If you forget your password, if you try to log in too many times and you lock yourself out, which that happens, you can go here and unlock your account. The thing that you need to know about using the Hawk ID password tools is you need to keep your information up to date in your two-step login profile in order to use the Hawk ID tools. And we'll talk more about that in just a minute here. But these Hawk ID tools, you need to make sure that you remember to go to that website, hawkid.uiowa.edu. So your email and your Office 365 account. I'm sure you all already have your email account. I'm assuming that you've already logged in and used your email account, and that's great. You want to make sure that you do that. Your email account is different than your email address is different than your Hawk ID, because your email format is always your first name dash your last name, and which is different than your Hawk ID. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. You can access your email at office365.uiowa.edu. And one of the most frequent questions we get for new incoming students is, hey, I love my Gmail account. I want to continue to use my Gmail account. That's fine. You can use your Gmail account, but your University of Iowa email account is your official form of communication. So you're going to get a lot of emails, like I'm sure you already have, from the registrar's office, from the admissions office, from orientation services, from your advisor. So you need to make sure that you use your University of Iowa email account. The other thing is, when you are communicating with your instructor, if you send your instructor an email from mamaslittlecutie@gmail.com, they're not going to know who you are. You really should not use your Gmail account to talk to anybody, have any conversations, or ask any questions with anyone on campus. So you need to make sure that you use your University of Iowa email account. You can set up your email on your mobile device, on your laptop. You can access it online through Office 365. So you have many, many ways you can use your university email account. So speaking of Office 365, let's talk about that for a minute. So the Office 365 website, which is right there, office365.uiowa.edu, that's where you go to check your email. You can also have access to your calendar. All of those online services are in Office 365. So Word, Excel, PowerPoint. You can chat with your friends and other University of Iowa students through Skype for Business. So your Office 365 account, this is the Microsoft version of like the Google Docs and Google services that you may have used in high school. So at the university, we just use the Microsoft version. All of these tools are free. So if you were to go out and purchase this online, it's expensive. So once again, I'm going to point out everything that we have here at the university that's free, and this is one of the things that you're going to want to take advantage of. For example, one of the services that you'll use in Office 365 is OneDrive. When you log onto the site and you open up OneDrive, you can store all of your documents in OneDrive. And you can see 1 terabyte of storage is free. And yes, I just said terabyte. That is a really nice perk of being a University of Iowa student, is having access to that for free. So the days of having a large hard drive on your laptop, you don't need a large hard drive anymore, and we don't even recommend storing any of your documents on your hard drive, because you should take advantage of being able to keep everything out in Office 365 in the cloud. That is a really nice perk. Another question that we frequently get, you want to keep in mind, you will have access to Office 365 all throughout your career at the university. And after you graduate, you'll still have access to Office 365 for 2 years after you graduate. So you'll have plenty of time to move documents, move any emails that you need to move after you graduate. So you can expect to be able to use these services for years to come. One thing that I want to mention is when you log on to Office 365, you'll be using the online version of Word, Excel, PowerPoint. There is a big difference between the online version of those tools and the full Office suite. So here is another perk of being a University of Iowa student. And again, here's another thing that's free. When you log on to Office 365, you can download the full suite of products. So again, this is free, and this is one of the things that you need to do while you are still at home this summer. Get this downloaded now, because like I said, the online version of the Office tools and the full suite of products, they're very different. So you can download and install this on up to 5 devices. So you can install it on your laptop. You can install it on a desktop computer at home. So you'll need to use your Hawk ID to get in here and install this, but make sure you take advantage of this and install it on your laptop before you come to campus. So get it installed, and then make sure that you update the products, run a software update. So that is a really, really nice perk of being a University of Iowa student. So moving on, we are going to talk about that ugly thing called security. As we all know, there are lots and lots of scammers and people out there that are trying to steal our identities. So we are going to talk about email and how to keep your account secure. And I'm going to stop for just a second here and remind you that if you have any questions, feel free to use the Q&A feature, because I can't see you all, so I can't really see if you have questions. So please don't forget about the Q&A, because we've got some of our technology staff behind the scenes that are going to answer all of your questions today. So don't be shy to use that Q&A. And the other thing is, you know, once we get to the end of this presentation, we're going to be going through a lot of frequently asked questions. So, but feel free to use that Q&A at any time throughout this presentation. Okay, so two-step login and email security. What we're going to talk about now is maintaining your online identity, keeping all of that information safe, and how we do that at the university. So you are going to log on to your email account. You can go to Office 365 and log on. And we have a service that we call two-step login. So how this works, you go out, you log on to your email. Once you are enrolled in two-step login and you have your profile set up, you'll log on to your email with your Hawk ID and your Hawk ID password. Then what two-step login does is it connects your online account with a device that you own. So you'll log in with your Hawk ID and your password, and then you'll get a prompt on your phone to approve the fact that you're logging on to connect to your email. So the service, the tool that we use is called Duo. We call this our two-step login service. And it's just like if you log on to your bank account right now, a lot of times with your bank account, they'll want to send a code to your phone, or they'll want to call your phone. That's the same thing. It's all called two-step login. What we do here at the university is we recommend the app, because the Duo mobile app, it's the easiest to use, and it's far more secure, because your phone number for your cell phone, it can be spoofed. So the app is definitely the most secure option to use. So we are going to push you to definitely use the app. So here is the deal. I'm going to stop for a second and talk about what you need to do before you come to campus. You do not have the security on your email account until you enroll. So get enrolled now, because this is not, your account is not safe and not fully protected until you enroll. So you see the website address on your screen right there, its.uiowa.edu/two-step-enroll. I want all of you to go there as soon as we're done with this presentation today and get enrolled. You'll find instructions for how to do this, but you need to protect your account as soon as possible. So do it today. This is really, really important. So I'm going to be bugging you about that and asking you if you've enrolled yet. So once you get enrolled, you'll download the app. So go to whatever, if you have an iPhone or if you have an Android, just go to your app store and download the Duo app. And then you can, when you enroll, it'll ask you to use the app during the enrollment process. So you'll need both of those things to get enrolled. Also, just so you are aware, if any of you students are planning to travel internationally, you have to use the app. It's the easiest way to use two-step from abroad. So again, the app is really what you need to download and get enrolled today, because we want to keep your account safe. All right, you guys, I don't think anybody's asking any questions yet. Hello, are you guys there? Don't be afraid to ask questions, because we're here to answer them. And I'm also trying to keep you awake, because talking about email and security, this can be a very boring topic. So bear with me here as we talk about fun and exciting things today, because our next topic is not very exciting either: phishing. So as incoming students to the University of Iowa, lots of times during your high school career, students really don't know a lot about phishing. So it's our job to educate you on what phishing is, because we want you to be able to recognize a phishing email if you get one at the university in your University of Iowa email account. So at the university, we get about 2.5 million emails every day. Every day. So our security teams and the processes that we have working behind the scenes, they block out like many of those phishing emails. Like 70 to 80% of the phishing emails that happen will never even make it to your inbox. Because of all the processes that the scammers use, it's impossible for us to prevent every phishing email from landing in your inbox. So when you get one of these emails, you need to be able to recognize that it's phishing. So here we have an example of a phishing email that we have actually seen on campus. So you're going to notice typos. You're going to notice grammatical errors. The ITS help desk, we're never going to send you an email that says all your incoming mails is on hold. Yeah, guess what? We don't say that. We don't use bad grammar. We're never going to have a link that's in all caps that says check activity. That is not going to happen. You'll notice the Iowa help desk, it's all capital and then there's one lowercase k. No, you're never going to see an email like this that's legit, that's actually coming from us. The problem with these emails, they actually steal our logo. Like that's actually our ITS logo, and that's our ITS help desk signature. That's how they fool you. The other way that they fool you, so my name is Jamie. If I get an email in my inbox and the email is sent from Jamie and it's to Jamie, that is another thing that you need to pay attention to. That's an immediate red flag that this is a phishing email. So we want to teach you all how to recognize these messages, because what they do, they're going to want you to click on that link in the email. And if you click on that link, they're going to be able to steal your Hawk ID and your Hawk ID password. Then your account is compromised. So, but if they do steal your Hawk ID and your Hawk ID password and they try to log on as you, that two-step login is going to protect your account, because these scammers, they don't have your cell phone so that they can approve you logging into your email account. So that's why you have to get enrolled in two-step login today. So on the screen here, we have the link to our phishing site, its.uiowa.edu/phishing. There's lots of information out there about how to recognize these messages. So definitely go to that website. Another way that you can protect yourself and you can fight these phishing scams, besides being able to recognize these messages, is that, let's say you get an email and you're like, wow, this looks real. I mean, there's been people on campus that get fooled every day because these messages look real. So you're sitting here and you're looking at this message in your inbox and you're going, wow, I just really don't know. Is it a phishing scam? Is it a legit message? You can go out to our website, this phishing-examples page. Almost all of the phishing messages, well, actually every phishing message that we receive on campus, we quickly get posted to this page. So if you go out to phishing-examples, you look at the emails that have been arriving in our inboxes on campus. If you see the message that's in your inbox, you know that it's a phishing message. It's not a real message, and you can just delete it. So we highly encourage everyone to be very aware of these phishing examples out there on the website. So this is something that you can do at home. When you're checking your email at home before school starts, over the summer, if you see a message, go out to the phishing examples page and make sure that you can confirm that it really is a phishing scam. All right. Guys, I'm going to take a drink. No one's asking any questions. I need a drink of water. How y'all doing out there? I hope you're doing well. Okay, so continuing on with our security theme and things that you can do to prepare for coming to campus, another piece of keeping your email account safe is using the Outlook app. So you know how when you get your cell phone and when you first get a new cell phone and there's all these apps that are pre-installed, you'll see that there's a lot of apps that you can use to check your email with. So don't use those apps that are pre-built on your phone. Go out to your app store and download the Outlook app. It's free, and Outlook is compatible with our two-step login process. So we definitely want you to use the Outlook app. So download it on your phone, download it on your tablet, download it on your laptop, wherever it is that you want to check your email, use the Outlook app because it is the most secure. It's compatible with the two-step login process. It's compatible with all of our tools. It's a Microsoft product, and we use all Microsoft products here on campus. So please download the Outlook app. So again, this is something that you should be doing now. Do you guys have that done yet? Have you downloaded it yet? Okay. All right. Okay. You should probably wait till after this presentation because you should probably listen to me and all these things I'm telling you for how to keep yourself safe. So maybe wait until afterwards to download that. Okay. So because none of you are asking any questions, I'm just going to keep going here. So what we are going to talk about next is networking. There are a lot of networking options on campus, and we want to make sure that you are very aware of what you should be using and when. So we're going to talk about wireless. So with our wireless service on campus, all of the students and all of the faculty and all of the staff on campus use Eduroam. So Eduroam is our wireless network. The reason why it has such a goofy name is because Eduroam is a global wireless service. All higher education institutions use Eduroam. So if faculty or staff or students, like if you travel to another university, like say you're going to go to a meeting at Ohio State, when you get on campus at Ohio State, you can connect to Ohio State's wireless with your University of Iowa Hawk ID and your Hawk ID password. That's the really cool thing about it. A couple of years ago, I was in Europe on vacation, walking down the street in Paris. There was a university in Paris that was using Eduroam. My phone connected to Eduroam and I started getting emails. So Eduroam is a wireless service. It's global, which is really nice. It's very secure. It's high speed. You are going to find that you are going to have access to Eduroam no matter where you go on campus. There's places on the Penncrest where you can have access to Eduroam. Hubbard Park on campus, you can get access to Eduroam there. So Eduroam is blanketed across campus. And during this time of COVID, when no one is on campus and people are at home using their own wireless service, we even have drive-up Wi-Fi locations. So you can go to these parking lots on campus and connect to Eduroam. So we do have that as a service for our students that are taking classes over the summer. So Eduroam, it's secure. The reason why it's secure is because you have to authenticate with your Hawk ID. So that's one of the reasons why it's so secure. So you're going to use Eduroam. The UI guest network it's not as secure. That's for all of your friends and family. So let's say when you go to move into the dorm this fall in August, when you're moving into the dorm, your parents and your friends, they will use UI guest. UI guest, you have to register to use it every 24 hours. It's kind of painful to use. So you don't want to use UI guest because it's not as secure. It's not as easy to use. Students, faculty, and staff all use Eduroam. So funny story. Few years ago, we quickly realized that gaming is an important part of your college experience. We quickly realized all of these students are bringing their Xboxes and their PS4s and all these things to campus. The security on those gaming devices, it's not secure. So we don't allow your Amazon Fire Stick to connect to Eduroam. You can't connect your PS4 or your Xbox. Those won't connect to Eduroam. So our networking engineers on campus created a specific network just for all of your gaming devices. Because I guess when you go to college, it's important to use your Xbox and like play games. I kind of don't get it, but whatever. So anyway, you're going to learn how to use DeviceNet if you want to use it in the dorm for your Xbox and your Fire Sticks and your Rokus and your Apple TVs. So you can go to our website and get all the instructions for how to use DeviceNet. But once again, when you see these different wireless networks on campus, you are going to want to make sure that that you use the appropriate one. So in the dorms, you are going to use Eduroam. Yes, in the dorms, you're going to use Eduroam. And then, yes, we actually have a question about, do we have a checklist of everything that should be done before getting to campus? Very good question, because I am going to talk about that over and over again, and we will show you the website where you can get that checklist. So yes, very good questions. So moving on. So you have wireless all over campus. In the dorms, if you want to, you can connect to a wired connection. Everybody knows that a wired connection is a little bit faster, a little bit better connection. Most of our students say that they can go their entire university career and never use a wired connection in the dorms. Lots of students do not use them, but we want to make sure that you understand that you can use it if you want to. And if you do use it, bring your own Ethernet cable, because we don't provide Ethernet cables on campus. And then if you're going to bring an Ethernet cable, I'd probably bring a long one. So if you're going to connect your laptop to an Ethernet connection, you at least be able to have some flexibility to walk around your room in your dorm. Or a university apartment. So make sure that you bring a cable to campus. Okay, so keeping on with our conversation here, let's talk about networking best practices. So one of the questions that we get all the time is, should I bring my wireless router to campus? No, 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 they aren't allowed. So they're expensive. You don't want to have to buy one. You don't want to have to support your own wireless router. So do not bring one to campus if you are living in a dorm. So you're in the dorms, you're going to have access to Eduroam. You don't need a wireless router in the dorms. Also, if you, like, say you forget, I don't know how you're going to forget this, because you're going to remember me telling you not to do this, but let's just pretend that you forgot and you brought a wireless router to campus. Once you plug that in to the university network in the dorms, our network engineers are constantly scanning the university network, and they are going to they're going to shut it down because they don't meet our security standards. So if you try to bring a wireless router to campus, it's not going to work. So hopefully you'll remember me telling you, don't do that, because it's a waste of your time and a waste of your money. So also with personal printers, most students don't bring one. Most students don't bring one because there's printing available all over campus. Printers are expensive, the paper's expensive, the toner's expensive, so you don't really need one. But if you do, it doesn't work on the university wireless because of our security standards, so bring a cable to connect it to your laptop. All right, moving right along. Instructional Technology Centers, we call them ITCs. They are computer labs. So this is one of the reasons why you don't really need a printer on campus, because there are over 1,000 computers in these ITC locations all over campus. If you go to this website, you're going to get all of the locations or where they are. Some of them are open 24 hours a day. Most of them have PCs and Macs. Some of the ITCs are even in your dorm buildings. So if you don't feel like lugging your laptop around campus, you can go to one of these ITCs and log on to one of the computers in those computer labs. So if you go to an ITC and if you do log in, you can print right from that computer. If you're in your dorm and you have your laptop and you want to print to an ITC printer from your laptop, you can use a service that we call WebPrint. So that's another service that's highly used on campus. Okay, so here's one thing that's not free, but at least it's inexpensive. To print on campus, 3 cents, you can see it's not expensive at all. So this is why most students don't bring a printer to campus, because it is very reasonable and it is charged to your U-bill. Okay, we're going to talk about free things again. So available software. As a University of Iowa student, you are going to have access to lots of free software titles. So here is the website for where you can go out and check all of the titles that you have access to. So feel free to you should do that now so that you are familiar with the titles that you have access to for free. Another thing is we have this service called Virtual Desktop. So Virtual Desktop, it's a website that you log into, and there's a lot of unique titles out there. Like there's a lot of statistics titles. So SAS, Mathematica, Minitab. That's software that you may need for your courses, but you don't have to purchase it because you can go out to the Virtual Desktop service and use that for free. So make sure that you check that out. Again, something else that's free, LinkedIn Learning. So if you were to go out and purchase a subscription for LinkedIn Learning to be able to log into their service and take a lot of their free online training, this is expensive. As a University of Iowa student, this is another perk. You get this for free. So make sure that you take advantage of this. Like our faculty and staff on campus also use this for free. You can totally take all of the courses that you need to prepare yourself for the project management certification. There's so many titles out here. You need to make sure that you log in and take advantage of this. Okay, so here is the #1 question that we get at the help desk all the time. What do I buy for a computer? So we have a website that we're going to show you where you can look at the recommended specs, because we do have specifications for a laptop that we recommend, but really for the most part, it doesn't matter. If you used a Macintosh computer all through high school and you are most comfortable with a Mac, don't switch to a PC now. Just use what you are most comfortable using. Most laptops have built-in microphones and video cameras for attending online classes. So if you are going to buy a new laptop, make sure that you get one with a built-in microphone and a webcam. You're going to want that. Also, all of the vendors that sell laptops, Dell, HP, Acer, all of those vendors, they offer discounts for higher education students. So make sure if you are going to buy a new laptop, make sure that you take advantage of those discounts. And then if you do get a new laptop and you've got your, you get logged in and you can get Office installed by going to Office 365 and downloading it and installing it. Before you come to campus, make sure that you update all of your software. It's just a good thing to do before you come. So like this summer, all of our students that are on campus this summer, well, they're not on campus because they're taking their classes remotely. So it's possible that there's going to be some remote classes this fall. So we want you to be aware of what the resources are that you may need to use. The video conferencing options, it's up to your instructor as to which one they prefer and which one they are going to use. But we just want you to be aware that you're probably going to be using Zoom. Skype for Business is another option of what instructors can use for courses. Microsoft Teams, it's another Microsoft product. You will learn more about these. Don't stress about learning about those now. We just want you to be aware that you could be using some of these this fall. Also, in this image, this lady here has a nice headset. A lot of people that are taking classes remotely prefer the audio experience of using a headset. So we definitely recommend getting a headset with a microphone. This website right here, the teachuiowa.edu, Keep Learning Iowa, there's a lot of information there on how to prepare for learning and taking online classes. So be sure to check out that website. Okay, let's talk about your parents for a second. I said earlier, you don't need to give your Hawk ID and your Hawk ID password to your parents because everything that your parents are going to access, they are going to access with their own ID. But you as the student, you need to send them the invitation through MyUI to create their parent guest ID. So if your parent is a University of Iowa employee, you just need to send them the invitation to their University of Iowa email account, and they can get their Hawk ID set to access this information. If your parent does not work at the university, you just need to send them the invitation through MyUI. Make sure that you are sending the invitation to their email account. Make sure that you are using your own email account to send them their invitation at their email account. So also, students need to be aware that you need to go into MyUI and check the check boxes to give your parents access to your U-Bill and your grades. We have a lot of parents that call us at the help desk because they're like, I got logged in to MyUI, but I can't see anything. It's because the student needs to give their parent access to their U-Bill and their grades. So everyone that has a Hawk ID, so your parent guest IDs, they're going to use the Hawk ID password tools as well. So if your parents have any troubles using those tools, just tell them to call the help desk as well, because we will help them with their guest accounts, just like we help you. So frequently asked questions. So these are the questions that we see all the time at the help desk. What laptop should I buy? You can go to that website right there to get our recommendations. And we're going to tell you, make sure that you have a laptop with a built-in webcam and a microphone. So you're probably going to want that. The other thing that we want to make sure students realize, so Chromebooks are really popular in high school. Lots of high schools use Chromebooks. And you know what? It's fine to bring your Chromebook to campus. They are a really great tool. But make sure you have another device besides a Chromebook. Not all of our services will work with a Chromebook. So if you have a Chromebook and you want to bring it, that's great, but you're going to need, we recommend a laptop besides just having a Chromebook, just because of the issues that we do have with Chromebooks on our services. So again, our recommendations are on that website. How do I install Office on my computer? We've already talked about that. You go to office365.uiowa.edu and you download it. You can download it on up to 5 devices, so don't forget that. Do I need to bring a printer to campus? No, you don't really need to bring one, but there's more information. So be sure to go check that out. Should I bring a wireless router to campus? Come on, people, you know the answer to this question, right? You know the answer. No, they're not allowed. So don't bring a wireless router to campus. So how do I connect to the university wireless networks? Again, we want to make sure that you understand the difference between the Guest network and Eduroam. I'm sure you're all going to figure out how to get your Xbox and your PlayStation connected. So I'm not worried about that. But make sure you know the difference between Eduroam and the Guest network. Okay, how do electronic textbooks? Over the last few years, these have become very popular. So if you want to purchase electronic textbooks, you can do it through Icon Direct. So that's a really good question that we get. So make sure that you check that out, because if you are the type of person that you're okay not having a book in hand, you might want to check out electronic textbooks. Again, where should I store my files? You should know this. You're going to go to OneDrive on Office 365, and you're going to use that 1 terabyte of free storage that you have as a perk as a student. So make sure you take advantage of that. How do I add university email to my phone? Don't forget to you're going to use the Outlook app. You can go to that support article, and all of the instructions are there as to how to set up your email on your phone using the Outlook app. And how do I change my Hawk ID password? What if I forget my password? What if I fat finger my password and I get locked out? You're going to go to those Hawk ID tools at hawkid.uiowa.edu, and you're going to unlock your account. You're going to reset your password if you need to. So don't forget those tools. And if you don't remember anything from this time that you spent with me today, please remember this one thing: get enrolled in Duo, 2-step login using Duo. Go out there right now and get enrolled today. If that's the only thing that you remember from this presentation today, that is the most important thing that you need to do right away, is get enrolled in Duo. One more page that we have of frequently asked questions. How can I set up a parent guest account? Again, you're going to log into My UI, and you're going to send that invitation to your parent's email address. So make sure that you're using your university email address and sending it to your parents' email address. And once again, there's the link with more information. And then, this next question, lots of students really got used to their Google accounts in high school. You can still use Google Docs, and you can still use your Gmail account, but you need to use your university provided email address for any of your university services and for communicating with anyone on campus. So don't forget that. So the help desk is open now. We're open all summer. We're all working from home. We're taking your online chats. We're answering your emails. We're talking to you all day long. The only thing that we're not doing is we're not using our walk-in location in Old Capitol Mall. But don't be afraid to reach out to us. So when you go out to this website and you download this presentation, because you're going to remember to do that, go out and download this presentation. Ashley already shared the URL earlier, newstudents.uiowa.edu, the online orientation sessions. You're going to see all of these website references. So one of the questions that we got asked earlier is, do we have a checklist? Do we have a checklist of all the things that you need to do before you come to campus? Yes, we do, and it's that top 5 tech tips. its.uiowa.edu/top5. Those are the 5 things that we want you to do before you come to campus. So, but all of these website references, when you go out and get this presentation, you're going to have all of this information. So we talked about a lot of things today. So what questions do you all have? I'm sure you've forgotten something already, right? I'm sure there may have been a question that we did not answer. So we've got Jacob and Ashley on the on the scene to answer all of your questions. If there's anything that you want to ask in the Q&A right now, we can just talk about it. So feel free to chat in that Q&A. So no one's going to ask me any questions. My feelings are kind of hurt. I hope you guys are awake. You better be awake. So you know what? The bottom line is the help desk, we are here to help you. So go to our contact page, get our information, send us an email, live chat with us. We are here, call us. We are here to help you. Also, if you are a technology-minded student and you really like technology, we have about 30 students that work at the help desk at any given time. A lot of the students that work for the help desk, they're taking phone calls right now. If you want a job and you're really tech savvy and you want to work for me and Jacob and Ashley, come apply for a job. You can come work with us. Our help desk students, they graduate and they go off and get amazing jobs, amazing jobs. So there's a plug for coming to work for us at the help desk. So if you don't have any other questions today, so don't forget, go out and download this presentation. And also, we are recording this session. So we are going to have this recording posted hopefully early tomorrow so that you can go out and watch this recording again, because I'm sure you don't want to forget me, right? You want to go out and watch this again, right? So anyway, we just want to make sure that you get all of your questions answered. So if you don't have any other questions, you can leave us. Thank you for taking the time to spend with us today. We're going to hang out for a few minutes in case anyone has any further questions. So thank you very much for attending. We really appreciate it because we want you to take advantage of all of the technology on campus. Go Hawks!